So, it looks like you're about to install Real Cedar Siding. That's a terrific choice, and not just for the natural beauty and warmth it will bring to your home, but for the help it does for the environment as well. Since you're ready to get started, why don't we review a few quick steps that will maximize the look and performance of your Real Cedar for decades to come. Say, is that a lift of Real Cedar Siding over there? Well, it looks like you're off to a great start, because I can tell you stored that properly on site. Stored in an enclosed, unheated space is best, but if not, off the ground on a vapor barrier with protection and air circulation will ensure there's no moisture absorbed before installation. Another point before installation is to make sure your Western Red Cedar is properly acclimated. For peak performance, we recommend KD, which can be installed right away. KD, or kiln dried, is seasoned at the mill and ready to go. Knotty siding should acclimatize in a dry area for 7 to 10 days. Green or unseasoned siding will need at least 30 days to allow for shrinkage. However, it should be noted we don't recommend green siding, as other options are readily available. Okay, here's a question for you. Are you going to finish your Real Cedar siding? To give your siding the best performance possible, it's recommended that you pre-finish your siding on all 6 sides before installation. All field cuts should be finished on site as well, as the end grain absorbs moisture more rapidly than any other surface. Okay, now let's talk fasteners. And welcome to the show. With me today is Brian the Builder. Hello, Brian. Brian, I understand you're installing some absolutely gorgeous Real Cedar siding. What kind of fasteners are you using? Oh, nice. Stainless steel splitless ring shank siding nails are the absolute best choice for Western Red Cedar siding, especially when using a transparent or semi-transparent stain or bleaching product. The right length fastener for the thickness of the siding will also prevent the siding from moving due to moisture in the air. So let's welcome Carol with our ring shank nail length chart. Very nice. Now, Brian, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume you'll be using a nail gun. Hand driving's always the best bet with Real Cedar siding. But if you're using a nail gun, here's a good tip. Adjust your air pressure to leave the nail slightly proud and finish by hand. Why? Because...
you never ever want to countersink!
Yeah, countersinking's dumb. And it can also compromise the performance of the siding. So let's talk about controlling your moisture, by which I mean vapor barriers and rain screen. A vapor barrier is installed on the warm side of the wall, and the house wrap, like DuPont's Tyvek drain wrap, is installed on the outside wall over the sheathing to allow residual vapor to escape. Furring strips are an option for horizontal siding to create a rain screen. These will be installed vertically, aligned with the studs. Vertically installed siding requires horizontal furring strips installed no more than 16 inches on center, unless horizontal blocking has been installed in the wall cavity. These, combined with the wood sheathing, provide the necessary nailing framework for vertical installs. Once the rain screen is constructed, it's time to move on to flashing. It's important to have all flashing installed to help direct moisture away from the wall assembly. Install horizontal flashing extending from the top of all wall penetrations, such as windows and doors. Do not use caulking where flashing and trim or other material meet. Caulk where the siding abuts the trim, never above or below. Use acrylic latex, acrylic silicone, polyurethane, polysulfide, or terpolymer rubber caulks. Don't use transparent or pure silicone caulks. Neither plays well with Western Red Cedar. The siding should be installed with a minimum of 6 inches of ground clearance. Okay, so which profile are you installing today? Knotty 6-inch Western Red Cedar Shiplap, a classic cladding if there ever was one. Wonderful choice. And you know you can install shiplap both horizontally and vertically, right? Okay, let's get this started. For horizontal installations, we start at the bottom and work up, with the channels pointing upwards, making sure the board is level and plumb. Use the biggest level you have for accuracy. With the board in place, fasten into the furring strip or bearing and sheathing, making sure the nail penetrates at least 1 1/4 inches into continuous wood. Boards up to 6 inches should be nailed 1 inch up from the lap. Face nail with 2 nails per piece for 8-inch patterns and wider, keeping the nails 2.5 to 3 inches apart to allow for dimensional movement. Allow 1/8 inch expansion gap for dry siding. Keeping the channel upwards, continue working up, checking that the siding is level. In vertical applications, start at one corner with the lap toward the adjacent wall. Use a level or plumb line to ensure that the first board is plumb, and fasten to horizontal furring and sheathing, unless horizontal blocking has been installed in the wall cavity. When you come to an outside corner, there are 2 main methods to join the siding where it meets. Mitered corners are most commonly used with horizontal applications, although they do require good carpentry skills, which you obviously have. Corner boards are also a popular method and are easier to cut than mitered corners. The thickness of the corner boards will depend on the thickness of the siding, although most are a nominal 5/4 inch. Corner boards can be applied to the sheathing, with the siding fitting tightly against the narrow edge of the boards, allowing for expansion and an adequate caulking bead. You can also apply them over top of the siding, depending on the look you want. And that's an overview of the preparation and installation of Shiplap Western Red Cedar Siding. By following the steps and tips in this video, your siding will look amazing for decades to come. Great job! For detailed instructions, technical help, or where to find a Real Cedar retailer, visit us at realcedar.com.